Hi, Scope Creep here. I wanted to show you how to create a database in VBNet in 5 minutes or less. We'll be using Visual Studio 2013. You're going to go up to File. Oh, if it ever opens. Okay, File, New Project. And in the name of the project, just type in the name that you'd like to use. I'll call mine Video Tracker. I'm going to go ahead and leave it as is. Click OK. Now, as soon as it opens up, you're going to go ahead and right-click on the form and go to Properties and change the text property, which is the text at the header. We'll call this Payment History. And all that does is change the text. You want to also go to View, Solutions Explorer if you don't have that open, and select the form and rename the form. Something more descriptive than Form 1. I'm going to call mine FRM Payments. Okay, the next thing we'll do is add the database. To do that, do not highlight the solution. That doesn't work because you won't find the item. Highlight the one below it, the project. Right-click and go to Add, New Item, and on the left choose Data, and then under the items choose the service-based database, and then change the name to something.mdf. Click Add, and that'll add the database. Now under View, you're now going to go to View Server Explorer, and if you expand data connections, you'll see the database you just made. Expand that and highlight Tables, right-click, Add New Table. I'm a little impatient, so I'm just going to go down to the script down here and change the name of the table. I'll call it Invoices. Okay, now that the interface is loaded, I'm going to go ahead and add some fields. It will add them to the script. Instead of ID, I'll call this Invoice ID. A little more descriptive. That's the primary key there. Instead of an integer, I'm going to make it an n-bar car so I can mix numbers and characters. Then I'll choose, I'll add the field amount. Instead of an integer, it's going to need to have decimals, so I'll make it a type decimal. Monetary amounts have 2 decimal places, and I don't think I need 18 characters. How about 6? No nulls. Next field will be customer ID. I'll probably make it a varchar. And if you want to change the size of these fields, this is a good time to do it. Instead of 50, just make it a 40 or some other length. And then let's say invoice date. The day that we sent the invoice to them. We'll make this a date time field. Alright, no nulls once again. So then there's this button that says update. If you do that, it runs that script against the database, and there's this button now that says update database. That'll go ahead and create the fields. At this point we can save all and close that little window there. Now you're going to go back to your Server Explorer and expand your tables, and see now you have your invoice table now. You can right click on it and go to Show Table Data. That's empty, but we can just add a few dummy rows. I'll just put some fake data in there. Invoice with an amount for Amazon on today. Next invoice was for a bunch of money to Kindle. And then finally the last one was to hey, YouTube. There we go. Okay, so now we have 3 rows of data in there. The next thing we'll do is we'll go to Project, and we will add a data source. Add new data source. It's based on a database. We're going to return a data set from the database. It's got the ones we just created. It obviously knows what we're doing. And yes, we'll save the connection string. And it asks for what we're returning, what kind of items. So we're going to choose tables because we're interested in the table. And then finish. So now you see it created a data set. Now this next step's a little hidden. You got to go to View, Other Windows. That's the key, Other Windows. It's not up here. It's under Other Windows, and then your data sources. So when you do that, in your data sources window, when you expand the invoices, if you drag a field over to your form, Visual Studio will go ahead and add all the controls you need to navigate through the data. So really, you don't need to go manually add the binding navigator and all that stuff. You don't need to do that. So, aside from some minor formatting things here, we're done. As far as adding a database, being able to navigate through it, we now have a working application that navigates through our database, through our 3 records. Very simple. Please subscribe. I hope to see you on the next one. Have a good afternoon.